Except in the case of Juno, Juno's a more likable character, and Juno does have some growing up to do. You're seeing a person who's regressing, and I don't mind that. I mean, I see a lot of movies where the character's unlikable, and the movie ends with them not learning a thing, and that's fine. But I think that the script in the movie itself asks you to think that this person has learned something, and it doesn't really do that. It just reinforces the bitchy character that this person is. What the movie does right, like I said, I really, and I had to think about this because I just found this character so unlikable that I was kind of holding the whole movie against it. But I have to say the movie is well done when it comes to the story, is well done itself when it comes to the relationship between Patton Oswalt and Charlize Theron. I mean, that's crafted so well that and you have to make your decision at the conclusion it comes to, whether that's realistic or not. And it was a stretch for me. But what the lead up to that, I really did find enjoyable. I don't know. Do you guys have a whole lot to say? Because I
thought the chemistry between the two of those actors is great together. They're really funny. They're really opposite, and yet it's about seeing as an audience how their characters do have so much in common that neither one of them realizes. Really, just we see it, and they work terrifically together. I mean, who knew? But I thought the whole rest of the film, I mean, like I said, about the Diablo Cody thing, half the time when she's writing and talking to herself or whatever, she's writing her like she's a self-aware Hollywood character. And it was irritating because that's not who this woman is at all, you know? Yeah. And as it goes along and she gets even more pathetic, because at first you think, well, at least she's a writer, a successful writer of a popular series of children's book. But then you find out no, she's a ghost writer. Someone else started the series and then now is just collecting checks. And she's just writing under her name still. You're like, oh, wow. So you don't even have, and the series is getting ready to end because nobody's reading it anymore. She just gets more and more pathetic. And the only saving grace to her personality at all is that she's tolerant of Patton Oswalt, who you do kind of like. You know, you're like, okay, he's fucked up too. But when you hear his story about what happened and how he got as fucked up as he is, wow, your heart just breaks for him. Yeah, it really does.
And say what you will about Charlize Theron's character, but Charlize as an actress here is really great because, I mean, as insane as she was, I honestly found her really fascinating because the thing is like, there's truth to this. I mean, there are people out there that are exactly like this. And I thought they hit every note with these people who have this idea that they're bigger than who they actually are. Like how their perception of how everyone else should be treating them, I found completely fascinating. But, you know, like I said, at the end of it all, it felt cold. It felt like when you get in a relationship with somebody like that, you're left cold and you're like, yeah, damn it. You know? and you just, for a movie like this, maybe it is one of those movies where I can see some people enjoying it and liking, because like, yeah, that's how a movie like this should end. It shouldn't, you know, there shouldn't be any kind of progression. But it is a movie, so the fact that, you know, you're sitting there, you wanted a little bit more of a payoff, especially when it's coming from this director.
Jason Reitman.
Yeah, Jason Reitman.
It had a perfect record for me so far, personally.
Yeah, but this at the end of it all, I mean, it's an interesting character study, but it's not that much of a memorable film.
I have to agree with you there, because I meant to say that as much as I'm railing on this character, Charlize Theron was great.
I thought she was amazing.
Yeah, her and Patton Oswalt were both very good. Patrick Wilson was good. I mean, he's not.
I gotta tell you. I mean, my first introduction to Patrick Wilson was in Hard Candy, and I can never see him in something and not see him as a child molester.
It's hard for me to see that too. It's like he has
when he's Night Owl. I know you're the hero of the Watchmen, but
it is hard, man. That movie, he's holding that little baby. I'm like, you better get that motherfucker away from him. Stop!
I can only imagine.
Where's your hands at, man?
I can only imagine what was going on through your head in Watchmen when he was like naked throughout the whole scene. It's like, does he have like a little girl in that basement too, along with that ship?
He's looking for Juno.
Yeah, I know.
But man, you know, I'm gonna go and get my rating. I was flip-flopping between like an angry rental and a low matinee. There's enough that's done well in this from, you know, just a technical point, and there are some very well things written in the script. This character, if she wasn't so unlikable to me, I would be willing to give this probably a full price, but I'm just gonna go for a very low matinee.
It's funny, if I had felt at sitting at the end of this film that not only had the character actually grown and developed as you would expect a character to do throughout a character piece film, but we had gained something about it, some insight as well, I would have probably given it a full price. But that's just it. This movie just kind of is dog paddling through this woman's life. And, you know, a great actress goes a long way. Charlize Theron does a good performance in this role, but ends up just feeling like an exercise, really, like a performance exercise. Because I'm like, well, what was the point of watching all this stuff if we come to nothing? I mean, there is one really great climactic scene in here where her shit just explodes and in front of every other character in the film pretty much, and you're like, okay, I know she's a total bitch, but damn. That's the most humiliating thing I've ever seen. But even so, I don't know, it was just all right. I didn't even think technically it was all that great. I was like, meh, it's okay. I'm gonna give it a rental. I wish I could have been fonder of this. I love Reitman, I love Charlize Theron, I love Patton Oswalt, and I even, I like Diablo Cody's first movie. So I don't know. Yeah, but it's just a rental. It was kind of every great director gets a miss at some point, and
sure.
This is Reitman's.
That's what makes you great.
Yeah.
You learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
I concur.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like he's got a lot to learn.
Yeah, I can, I have to give it up to Charlize Theron. She was really amazing. Like, yeah, she really sold you on the fact that you hated this woman so much that you honestly thought she was this was like a documentary on her life, and you're like, fuck her. I'm not supporting this movie or anything. Why? But she was great. Her and Patton Oswalt were great together. It was kind of sad there. I'm like, man, Patton Oswalt, these are the only roles you'll ever get. You're the disabled, geeky guy that nobody wants to be with, and hey, we need somebody to play that every once in a while. So, I gotta get. Hey, you play it great.
Giamatti can't be everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
I can just picture Patton quietly looking at you, emotionless, and then just saying, "Look, just cut me, my motherfucking shit."
You know what? I say Paul Giamatti, but it's almost like Zach Galifianakis and him. Their voices sound very similar, and it's almost like, okay, if one doesn't get it, then the other one gets the role.
Right. But I mean, but they had great chemistry on screen. It's just unfortunate that the rest of the movie couldn't have been as memorable as their performances, what you can remember. So yeah, I mean, I was on the verge of matinee, but I mean, until you guys really started talking about it, that's when it started to click in my head again about, okay, now I'm starting to remember this, because after I left, I really didn't think about it that much. So I have to give it a rental, because I think it is one of those movies you just rent on a whim, and when you watch it, you enjoy it, but you probably it's a movie that's not for everyone.
You're not going to add it to your collection.
Yeah. There's no reason to really see it
when
in
y'all
the
first started talking about this. I was like, I don't know. I think I want to run out and see it, but
I mean, you might like it. Look, the movie's getting a lot of good reviews.
It really is.
It's not terrible. It's just like you said. The number one thing about it is just not very memorable.
It's not.
It has that one big scene where like she's humiliated that you will take away from it, but other than that,
it's just a rental.
And again, it's a lot of it relies on how you take that central character and what it comes to. I mean, it's to me, like I said, I felt like the movie was asking me to feel for her more than what I should have felt when it was over with. Like, I'm supposed to understand her. No, she's still a bitch at the end of it. You can always wait for the remake of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Patton Oswalt. Come on, and this girl right here is Charlize Theron's Esmeralda. Hey,
shit, man. With some of the roles Charlize Theron has taken, it's possible she might play the Hunchback.
That is true. There's moments when she looks absolutely fucking gorgeous, and there's others where she looks like hammered shit. I mean, that's
you
like,
bite your
damn.
tongue.
I swear to God, dude, she's like fucking Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
You know what?
Leave that for a second.
I tell you what.
Go watch Monster again. All right, Leon. You tell me you want to go fuck
this
that.
Monster is the one exception.
This is some of the sexiest hammered shit I've ever seen.